We wanted to touch on when you started breeding bull snakes and you got into some of the morphs like the albino whitesides and the Trumbowers. I'm super intrigued with the Trumbower Hypo. It's one of my favorite morphs because it's just so diverse.
It's interesting
in itself, and then you can plug, yellows and reds, and it just changes the whole look. And there's so many different looks. I mean, I probably have like 20 different looks of a Trumbower Hypo. It's amazing.
Well, I sent you pictures actually. So what happened it was I think it was 1990. Louis did me a huge favor in was it Eckert? Well, the curator at the Abilene Zoo, they had a wild bull albino and bred it to a locality normal and got heads. And Louis was able to get me a pair of those heads. Yeah. Back when zoos don't cooperate, but they cooperated with Louis because they wanted something, right? So I took those hats and these were just albino, simple recessive amelanistic albino from a wild caught. So, I got albinos. I raised, kept a couple back. I have a picture that I sent you. Wow. She died at 8 feet. She was a huge, huge snake. And her first clutch. So here's what I did. I took that albino, and in the meantime, do you guys know Norm Dan?
I don't know him, but I know that name, yes.
Norm's older. Well, he's a great gentleman. Norm's 85, I think. And big into Honduran milks back in the day and stuff. Very bright guy. Well, he had an anery bull from Colorado. And so I've got an albino. So, it's the old wash all the color and make a snow, the ugliest animal on the planet. But we had to do it. So he sent me the anery, and I bred that to make double hets. We figured anery, and I got 2 clutches that totaled 52 eggs out of that big. I've never done that before. It was like, oh my gosh! And the first clutch was, this is a true story, Jason, was like 32 eggs, and I started hatching stuff, and this one thing hatches. I see the nose photo, and I go, oh, it's got to be a snow. What I thought was going to be the snow, and this head pops out with these blue supraoculars and this gray pattern and no pattern on the sides. That was the first white-sided, named later, I didn't name it, bull snake produced in captivity that I'm aware of. And we didn't know what it was. And after some years, we've determined, I think it's a chromatophore defect. It's a partial leucistic, which leucism is thrown from some albinos from time to time. It's a crazy gene, but it is a chromatophore defect. Anyway, the first white-sided bull, very cool-looking snake. And I went, wow. I got another one, and Norm called, and Norm said, hey, I just got, and I go, yeah, I got one too. What is it? He goes, I don't know. I said, so what's going on here? I said, is that the snow? It sure doesn't look like what I would expect. And so we hang up, and then all of a sudden head pops through, and out pops this hypomelanistic. There's no doubt. And so being in the medical field, the term hypo is we use it as a simple recessive trait, but hypo just means under pigmented. It's like hypodermic, under the skin, under pigmented. What does that mean? I mean, you see so many people saying, oh, is this hypo? And you go, no, it's just a normal spectrum of the color of that, snake. But there's no doubt. This is a hypo. And this thing was it was yellow. And I went, what's going on here? What the heck? And so I get down to the last egg, and I'm going, I don't know what's going on. I should have gotten, the 1 in 16, right? I got 32 eggs. Yeah. and the last one was the snow. So the snow hatched, and it looked like a snow.
Wow.
It looked like a dirty white. We washed all the cool stuff out of it. We got the snow, and Norm got one, and Norm got the same stuff I got. And I said, "Did you get a hypo?" And he goes, "Yeah, where'd that come from? This doesn't make any sense genetically. This is crazy. Not only one foreign morph thing, but two."
Yeah.
So it took a few years, and after researching it, Norm's anery came from Colorado, and evidently that a couple of those animals threw some strange animals. I never saw them, but whoever bred them initially just threw some strange stuff that didn't look anery, and I'm sure there was some hypo or something in there. But I'm 99% sure that all this came from Norm's anery in there and loaded up and somehow matched up. I don't know. It's still very confusing, but there's no doubt I got them. And I sent you pictures. You'll see the first group of babies there. And so now I'm more excited about this white-sided thing in the hypo. The snow is, my second clutch, I produced a lot of them, and they sold for a lot of money. But to me, that wasn't the snake, So I bred what was named the Trumbower Hypo. And through the years, people have sent me so many pictures, or I'll see something on a form or something, and it's got my name on it, a Trumbower or something. And I've never seen that snake before in my life. I couldn't even tell you what it is. I don't know, Jason. The hypo is so variable, I guess. Mm-hmm. The ones I produced were pretty uniform. I have some pictures in the book too. And it was a very pretty snake. Gorgeous adults and kind of yellow. But through the years, stuff's come out of that hypo line, like you said, that's very interesting stuff. I produced that hypo, and so did Norm. But some of the other stuff thanks for giving me credit, I have no idea and some of the stuff isn't even my stuff. You just get a name on there, and I don't know what it is. And people seem disappointed when I say I have no idea.
It's so variable that people change names on it a lot. Like, just because it's a different look. It's the same genetic, but it's a pet peeve of mine. Like, it drives me crazy. But like, people start renaming stuff because, it doesn't look like that one. Well, you get a natural variant, and
it bothers me too. There's so many names. The morph thing is so crazy. I don't know. Maybe I'm guilty. Sometimes I'll say something about something, but. Yeah, it's so crazy out there, and stuff gets renamed because of a different look, like you said, and it's the same thing. There's a natural variance and variety. It's like the hypo thing. 1 to 10, you have some light normals and dark normals. They're all normals, But as soon as it gets to be a 4 or a 3, and not a 5 to a 10, it's hypo. Well, what does that mean, folks? Is it a simple recessive trait? Is it breedable? That's the thing. And, I've had a lot of very beautiful light snakes that are normal,
I've had Trumbower Hypos that were so, they almost look normal. Like, that's how variable they are. Like, this is a low grade. I don't know how to other way word it, but it's like a low grade hypo. Yeah, just weird stuff. I'm just fascinated with that genetic. So,
because I think everybody overcomplicates some of this, but I love how you described it. You said hypo is just a shade of normal, and it just happens to be on the lower end of the spectrum.
I just tell people, let's look at the word. Hypo simply means, as we use it, underpigmented. But what does that mean? There's such a long range there. And so we get caught up in this, and then we get caught up in the names. And by the way, my favorite gopher snake, and I like that term zombie. I don't like terms, But when I hatched the first one, Jason, it looked dead. It was blue, it was cyanotic. And back to medicine, I look at this thing and I go, "This is dead. It's blue. You know, it's like it needs oxygen." And that's where the zombie thing came from. And I went, well, it's one of the very few morph names that actually makes sense. But my snake in my snake room is one of my favorite snakes. Your MB line, that thing is just a gorgeous snake. It's just a gorgeous snake.
Hey, they made it to the end of the video.
Hey, thank you guys.
Be sure, if you like our content, to subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment on this video, and it would help us tremendously if you share this video with your family and friends. We appreciate it.